What's up, everybody? I'm here to give another farm tour. So starting where we started last time, we got our yellow dragon fruit. We cut it back really hard, making sales on this dragon fruit yellow variety, and yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back. So we just mulched this area, trying to reduce the mowing, feed the trees, take care of the privacy buffer. So walking over here to the farm, we got the bananas. They just got some mulch dumped on them. We got mulch spread out on the drives here. Got the compost. You'll see a little trash here and there like this along with the mulch, because these mulch loads came with all their trash while they were working on the job. So something to expect, you know. Got a lot of coconuts in the first load, and got a bunch of logs that I've used to make garden borders. So here we got some Brazilian spinach. We have longevity spinach. We got some tomato here, cocoa plum. We got yucca rooting over here. I hope to take some more cuttings. That's why I planted it like that, so I can spread it out. Looks like we got some rooster damage in there. We got a volunteer rooster that's not doing that great. But in there we have our variegated Cuban oregano. I just fixed up this bed's edge here. There was not really too much distinction between the edge of the bed and the row. So I defined it there with these logs. We're gonna come in here and add soil, fill this up a little bit more, maybe get to about, there or something. Maybe like 6 inches, 8 inches. Then we'll plant it in with more longevity spinach here on the edge. This area is a little older, more planted in. This is how the beds will develop over time. They'll start to fill in with some bigger plants, herbaceous plants like pineapples and bananas, that eventually will get shaded out by the big trees. Like here we have jackfruit and a pond apple and moringa. Before all of that, I try to come in and get as much annuals and vegetables as I can in there. We got some mulberries ready to plant. I want to plant some mulberries in between. I got a little tamarind tree there. I got several more trees that I want to plant in there. We got passion fruit. Hopefully we get some fruit from this. If not, we sell the leaves. We got noni. We just cut back pretty hard. Little noni fruit there. I think I'm going to continue cutting this back pretty hard so then it grows closer to the ground, so we can harvest the leaves and the fruit a little better. We got a chocolate pudding fruit tree here. There's the rooster. Nuisance. Old chocolate pudding fruit. Little papaya that we've harvested leaves from. We just reworked this bed and added a border. We'll walk around to that. Everything's getting mulched. We got a bunch of logs over here ready to make some cool garden bed edges. Pineapples here. We have our pigeon peas. I've been picking peas. I got some more peas to pick, and a few bananas. This little good banana row here. I popped this banana out really unintentionally, but I wanted to get this beam there. It was over there, and we pushed it here, we pushed it there, and we got it in there. And basically it's the edge of row 4. the south side edge. And we have these nice banyan tree stump cuttings that I got from the chip guys, and put together a little dino footprint path through the forest, or through the farm, through the orchard. We got these longevity just planted here. I'm gonna be planting some more Brazilian spinach, sorry, down there. Maybe we'll go all the way through. We got a jackfruit trying to produce some fruit. Looks like some female flowers down here, but that one looks rotten. But they're putting out more and more. I think it's jackfruit season. I don't know where the other fruits went, but oh, that's something else. Moringa. We have canistel hidden back there, a coconut back there, a blue butterfly pea, papaya, blue butterfly pea. We got some mulberry fruits on this mulberry. I'm excited to try it because this is the first time I think I'll get fruit from it. Garcinia maybe, I don't know. Pineapple, queen needle. We got guanabana, chaya. I reworked these garden beds here. Combine these two and made them into one. I really need to get in here and maintenance these tomatoes. I got turmeric underneath that's gonna come in over the summer once it starts getting warm. We got Everglades tomato, and looks like a little purslane, but mostly I wanted the Okinawa spinach in there. It's not doing that great. It looks like I need the water today. Planting some of these garlic chives. We got Brazilian spinach, Everglades tomato. Oh man, yeah, the Okinawa spinach is pretty dry. We got some rain and I thought it was good enough for a while, but hopefully those roots are reaching down deep. Blue butterfly pea. We got a little tamarind tree. More logs. Got a little banana patch here, some sugar cane. This bed got a bunch of logs dumped on it. Got our banana beds. We got some Wisteria aquatica seedlings there that could be transplanted. I just worked this bed. Get this out of the way. Got a mulberry here. Got a mulberry here. We got a mulch pile encroaching on this bed, but I haven't planted anything yet. I just worked this bed. We had some heavy weeds on some mounds of soil, and pulled all the weeds and raked it out, and I had some edges to it, but the last load kind of, creeped in on it. So I'll pull that back and we'll plant this in with some turmeric and longevity, and this is row 5 along with that. Little star fruit grew through the pots that I had over here, and they're just kind of doing their thing. Maybe they'll just live in the middle of the row. I don't know. Let's see if we can see some bananas. Oh yeah, that rack actually looks pretty good. We got a rack right there. Looks like about ready to harvest. Got a rack here. Didn't really look like it filled out too much. It's all right. Got blue butterfly pea. It got stunted back from the drought, but it's growing back some nice vegetative growth. It also put on a lot of seeds that were collected from these vines, and so naturally its energy went to the seeds, and now it's coming back for the season. This is variegated Cuban oregano. We got papaya kind of growing sideways and a moringa growing sideways. We got an oak sapling. Can make a good garden tool handle later. We got this one is ice cream bean, looking really good. Nice vegetative growth. Yeah, we got our bananas, some pigeon peas in there. It's getting mulched in. Little piles of soil that I dumped from this bed. I'm gonna get planted in. We're gonna burn this stump, move these weeds, move this banana. We'll leave that stump, but there's another stump over here I need to burn. So we need to take care of those two stumps. We need to make a nice garden bed for this tree. I was thinking of using these logs. I got several of them over there. I was thinking of going around, and then that will be a nice independent bed for that tree. And then in here in row 4 in this space, I was thinking I'd do some raised garden beds and either do them for educational purposes or to rent them out, or as an area to stage and photograph the plants that I'm selling. Row 5 is getting reworked right now. Just cleaned up all the rotten logs here. That was my old border. Still got some rotting logs there and a stump. We moved this log over here to border this south side's edge. Pineapples are looking amazing. Even the small ones are fruiting. Not all of them, but that one's peaking. That one's looking really good. It's got some flowers. These two, wow. Okay, that one's pretty big. This looks like was planted from a sucker from this one last year as a filler, so I expect a small fruit from it next year, or maybe some crazy end of the season fruit. This is looking kind of crazy. It looks like a sucker that stayed in the ground but isn't doing that great. Maybe that one will get pulled out and transplanted so then it could become a full pineapple as it wants to be. Oh yeah, we got a pineapple in there. We got our white jade pineapple. I don't see anything in there. Nice pineapple. That one gave us a Christmas fruit, which is amazing. We got a pineapple there. It put on a flower like September, maybe. No, before then. Like July at the end of the summer. And then it was ready by December. Maybe he'll do it again. Another pineapple. Yeah, this bed is looking really good. So this bed is a 2-year planted bed. It looks like we got a pineapple from there, and it looks pretty swollen here in this area. So I think it's starting to put up a stem for a fruit. Got a volunteer papaya right here in the middle of the walk path. My cha-cha is doing really bad because this eggplant was doing really good. It doesn't look like we got a pineapple from this one. This one was looking pretty small and weak, but it's doing good. It's healthy. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 11 pineapples. I think we got only 3 or 4 pineapples from this bed last year. We're at number 5. Over here I'm trying to work now. So I got my clippers. Got this longevity bed here that's looking kind of dry and spindly from its last few harvests. We got a lot of greens out of this over the winter. Fed a lot of people. A lot of people loved it. It spread over into this area, and now it's rooted on its own. It's doing really good. We haven't really harvested from this area because we've had enough from here. But what I intend to do is cut this back here, take those buckets of soil and fill it in, and plant this edge up a little better, and have the edge, have the whole edge longevity spinach, so we can come over here and we can put our buckets on the logs or stand on the logs and reach into the bed and harvest. And then deeper into the beds I'll have more perennial things, less things that we go into the center to harvest from. I got a sapodilla, a chocolate pudding fruit. I got a little finger lime there, a canistel there, a lychee, neem, and then in the back there's a mamey and a chocolate pudding fruit. But I'm going to work this bed edge here. It's a cool little feature to walk on these. Look at this. We got a little night anole. Yeah, a little small guy. Let's see if we can zoom in. Anyways, got some spinach here, and where's this guy? Camouflaged really well. Oh, there he is. Hello. Night anole or Cuban anole. Wow. Got a little camp spot here for a hip camp. Right here at the back of the orchard, underneath this ficus that provides plenty of shade. I'm gonna be burning another stump over here and planting in this area. I got some peas holding it down. Got bananas on the back edge. Got more pigeon peas. We got brown peas that are ready to pick for seed. This looks like it's good for food. Looks like we still got flowers, so we're feeding the humans, the pollinators, and future gardens. We got some canistel doing really good. I think it got like half ran over when I had to move the dump truck back here. It's really doing good for its circumstance. Recently had to drag a fence out of here, but I'm reworking this area. We got some wild creeping cucumber all over this banana. That's what I wanted. It really fills in nicely in undisturbed areas, but it's very, very, very fragile, so in highly disturbed areas it doesn't do good. We got some longevity spinach underneath here and some Cuban oregano. Stuff that was, maybe planted in another area and was dumped there and has regrown as a result of being such a hardy plant. And here we're trying to do some more hugelkultur with all the logs. I really intend this to be my wind buffer, so I have some palm trees here on the edge. This was all grown in with pigeon pea and weeds and brush, and now we're clearing this area up. And see, we have the land here kind of dips down to here, and then it goes up to there for the canal bank. Possibly at one time they dug this to build that edge up, and they dug the canal and built that edge up, and so we have a nice low-lying spot where water is naturally going to gather from this edge and that edge. So if we put a bunch of logs in here, they'll soak up that water, and we'll have a nice gradient that we can follow from that to here. That wouldn't be very noticeable over time. And what that'll do is allow me to drop a lot of logs in this area, fill it up with soil, and all those trees will have a good amount of water supply even in the dry season, and a good amount of moisture in the soil so it can keep those trees nice and healthy. Cool rock. I guess we're trying to get rid of this brush with this invasive weed, trees, Brazilian pepper. Got some native trees in here, some palmettos. We got some sapotes here in a line going down the property. We got our dump truck, guanabana tree, avocado tree, pine. We got some pigeon peas here. This is where a shed was behind. This was on one side of a shed, shipping container at one time that had to get removed from the county. So all these were really just filling up some niche space. These pigeon peas and this Cuban oregano, but now this is really turning into a different area now that it's exposed. So we have some, there's this custard apple, and then we have a loquat up in here, over on this side. Doing pretty good. Looks like it's got some nice budding going on. I don't think fruit yet, but maybe soon. So we had a shipping container there, and I was underneath the shade here. So the tree kind of arches up over where the shipping container used to be, and this bed here has a bunch of peas, and after the season these trees will be taken down and the oregano will be harvested, and there'll be 1-2 trees with stump edge beds. This one I put here has like a nice little plant attached, maybe it'll live. So we're gonna put stumps around this tree, the tree behind it. We put stumps around this tree, avocado, and this guanabana tree. These are 4 trees in kind of the open that need to be protected. We have another one over here, guanabana, kind of in the brush, up against the edges. We got some native saw palmetto. Actually got a bee on it right now. Food for the wildlife. Some native stuff over here. I got some Cuban oregano kind of holding this edge, kind of filling in this edge, because there's palmettos. And then there's a big pine tree over there I'm trying to protect. We got a custard apple here and some pigeon peas. So we got this pine tree, very large, and all these palmettos here is just for this tree. This whole bed here is to protect this tree. We got a tropical almond, which is usually like a very wind sensitive plant, but I figured, hey, it could grow right here next to this big pine tree, because if hurricanes are coming around, I'll just, strap it to the tree. Maybe, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, these trees are wind sensitive, likely to be damaged in high wind events. We got some vegetables in here, some yucca and greens, and some pigeon peas in the back. Beauty berry here in the old papaya field. This is the only papaya tree left in the old papaya field. This one was a volunteer canistel that has found a little home here. We got some beautiful sapotes doing really, really good here in the back. Not really disturbed too much. This one has been disturbed. Recently had a branch broken. Trying to come in here and, oh look, there's a snake. Trying to come in here and plant in these areas, but also let them get kind of wild and brushy. think what I need to do is clear out all the invasives and let this like rewild over here next to our path. I got a jackfruit back here. Expect fruit from it next year, maybe. Some more wild zones. Zebra longwing butterfly. Wildwing. It's a pretty cool name, anyways. Wildwing. This guy is very, very stunted. He's been part of this project here, pushing back this Brazilian pepper debris / living weed tree. And I dumped some logs here from all those mulch piles. They did not come for free. They did not come easy. They came with a bunch of logs that were buried, and I had to pull them out, load the tractor, and dump them over here. I got my pine kind of separated so I can use that. I think I'll use that before I use all that. Got a little path here. I'm trying to connect to the backyard. One volunteer canistel. We got a nice drive here. Maybe I'll get some chips here on my busy season so it's out of the way. But I got some nutrient accumulation happening over here. A bunch of logs and stuff getting pushed up. A little wild zone behind it. Got some logs. Chicken coop. Oh, that's what it's looking like in March. March 10th update. Jackfruit tree is the tallest. It was the first tree planted. The pine trees still looking really good and healthy. They're probably doing really good with all this mulch instead of grasses or exposing their roots. We're feeding the trees. Look at this mulch city. Need to mulch this path, but I'm working this bed here so these paths are not mulched, so I don't get a bunch of chips in with my soil, because when you mix the chips in with the soil, you get a little bit of damage. You get nitrogen locked up. But when you put the chips on top, that's when things do really good. Or if you put them in the pathways, the millipedes will come and they'll eat this, and the toads will eat them, and they all cycle nutrients into the soil, into the beds. The worms will eat that stuff, and they'll feed and fertilize your plants. Everything's looking really kind of shabby right now because it's getting reworked, but essentially this bed is getting reworked to that edge. There used to be flow paths going through the middle because they're 12-foot beds, and we could chop them in half by having a path in the middle, and then we have 2 6-foot beds with 3-foot, interiors from each side. But we're filling out to the full 12 feet, and we're gonna have more perennial things growing in. This bed was one of my newest beds that I made compared to these beds. Those beds were made before this one. I initially made paths in the middle, but I prefer no paths in the bed. If I'm gonna walk in, I walk in from the edges, and I have something I call flow paths going in between the rows. So it kind of chunks up 1, 2, 3, chunks up my orchard into 4. So this would be my second section from the fence. The first section is being highly utilized as a driveway. This bed extends a little further than most because the driveway starts over there. And then we have these beds in the orchard's design because we highly use this path to go there and there, and So this is my current access path. It was my first access path. I opened up the fence. This used to be a garden over here and a parking lot. A little bit of industrial garbage happening here, but the parking's still there. And right now my row 2 is right here, and it is now currently access. Look, doing damage. Hey, get out of there. Where I get chips and logs dropped off. I just recently got, I don't know, 10 loads dropped off. And a lot of hard work, a lot of log moving, a lot of chip moving. We got this bed here that's coming together. And then we have all this extra log that's going to need to be put somewhere. I was gonna do a garden bed around this. I was gonna do a border around this garden bed, but then I realized maybe this should kind of be a flow path in and through the bananas. Little areas like this and right there, I dropped some soil, so I'll probably rake that to about, you know, the 6 to 8 inches that I want, and then plant that in with like a turmeric or something, and mulch the rest, and kind of have like a very random design. See, I just dumped some soil in like different areas, and we'll just have like paths going through. The pigeon peas are, you know, on their way. This has got a lot of green peas right now we could use for food, but right now we're pretty reliant on our income from the store, so we're going to be having an abundance of seed available. So all this I'm going to collect for seed when it browns. This bed seems to be the latest blooming. Not really sure what the effect was there. These trees I just picked recently. We definitely have some pineapples coming out of here. This one got damaged from when I was cleaning up the vines out of here. Got a pineapple there, pineapple there. I expect to get many new plants from these this year, as it's gonna put out, oh, that's a beautiful pineapple. Oh, that's a white jade. It's gonna put out suckers, pups, and tops on the pineapple. So every pineapple we get was gonna be a new plant that's gonna make fruit in about 2 years or 3 years, depending. We have suckers that will come right out of the spot where the fruit is, and that will produce in about, you know, 1, 2 years, 3 years, depending. And then you got, wait, did I say suckers? The pups will be about 1, 2 years, and the suckers will come out of the ground near the base. So it'll put out a fruit for this whole stalk here. I don't know what to call it. And then the plant will send energy out from another point, and it'll start growing from here, and it'll be a new stable plant, and that will produce in 1 year, or as little as 8 months, depending how well taken care of the plant is, or maybe longer, depending on how neglected it is. So these plants, I'll let the suckers grow. I'll take the pups and the tops. So out of the 15 pineapples, 15 to 20 pineapples I'm gonna get this year, I'll get about, I don't know, 20 to 30 new plants. I got some pineapples in the orchard. They'll eventually start dying out from being overshaded. or out shaded, and that's why I'm moving them into zones like this. Like that there. And then as my trees grow in, the pineapples will start to get moved even further out into the open spaces, maybe sold off, or maybe I'll have to rent some land and grow pineapples or expand somewhere else. But the idea of the late stage is to have a bunch of mature fruit trees and supporting species that yields year after year without much watering. Like I do hand watering. I don't have any high watering irrigation system. I don't have any big pumps. I got the rain. Luckily, I'm in South Florida, and it's really easy to count on the rain. Not in the dry season. The dry season is typically November through April, maybe. And in the summer to early fall is like a monsoonal season where we can get heavy amounts of rainfall. So it really fills the aquifer and really creates an interesting, half of the year is monsoonal, half of the year is kind of like a savanna. So you have these events of massive growth opportunities, and then you have these events of drying out moments where certain species die off or certain other species thrive in the dry conditions and are able to produce. And maybe outside of the plant layer, there's animals that come through here and they'll forage and they'll add their nutrient. Birds, they'll add their droppings to the system, or lots of things can happen. The drought triggers the pine trees to go into reproduction.